Hello, this is Erin Cravey interviewing Bernard Shapiro, chairman and founder of the Freeman Center for Strategic Studies. Hello, Mr. Shapiro. I have two important questions to ask you today. How do you feel about Defense Minister Ehud Barak's banning of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed's Hesder program?
Well, this to me is a serious blow to Israel's security. First of all, the Hester Yeshiva program, which was initiated quite a few years ago, allows religious Jews who want to study Torah in conjunction with their army service, their national military service. And what has happened is these religious soldiers have become a major part of the elite combat units of the Israel Defense Forces. They have more will to fight. They believe in Israel, they believe in God, and they make great soldiers. But they do not believe that the role of an Israeli soldier is to expel Jews from their homes. Recently, there was a small protest by a few soldiers getting inducted into the Israel Defense Forces, and these soldiers raised signs that said, "We are here to protect the Jewish community and not to expel the Jewish community." And this created a controversy. Defense Minister Barak said that this was a sign of disloyalty, anti-democratic activity, and he decided that the head of the yeshiva, Hester Yeshiva, Rabbi Eliezer Melamed, should have prevented this from happening. Either that or condemn the soldiers. The chief rabbi of this yeshiva said that while he did not ask the soldiers to do it, and it was a spontaneous thing on their part, he was not going to apologize for it because, according to him, the Israeli Defense Forces has a mission from Hashem, from God Himself, to protect Israel. It does not have an authority to expel Jews from their homeland. And therefore, what the soldiers did was not something that should be condemned, even though I personally did not support it. Barak then immediately got angry, and he barred the students from that yeshiva from joining the army, which is a tremendously stupid thing to do. I remember 20, 30 years ago, the army used to complain that religious students, Torah students who were studying Torah, did not serve in the armed forces and did not risk their lives to defend Israel. And now what Barak has done is he's taken a group of students who are eager to serve in the army, eager to defend the state of Israel, and he's barred them from joining the army simply because their chief rabbi did not condemn soldiers that did not want to expel Jews. So it's totally illogical. You cannot blame a group of people like Torah students for not being in the army, and at the same time blame them or keep them from going into the army when they practice their religious beliefs. I think it's very detrimental to the state of Israel. Israel needs fighters that are willing to risk their life and limb for the sake of the country, and this in many ways politicizes the army. Israeli soldiers should never have the responsibility of destroying Jewish communities in Israel. They should be purposely focused on defending Israel from the enemy. That's all.
Okay. Former Prime Minister Ehud Olmert offered the Palestinian Authority a sweeping transfer of territory so that they could form a Palestinian state. What do you think about it?
Well, what happened, this took place in the year 2000 when Olmert was in negotiation with, I think Clinton was, I'm a little confused on the facts. Let me just get to the substance. I'm not sure of the date lines, but the idea that you can make territorial appeasements to Arabs and then make peace has been proven over and over wrong. This particular plan would have added 327 square miles of territory to the Gaza Strip, and then Israel would take over certain land of the settlements, and then the rest of the land that was not a part of pre-67 Israel would be turned over to the Palestinians. This is one of those grand compromises that looks good maybe on paper, but based on the realities in the area would not have worked. I mean, because what you have is an unwillingness of the Arabs to make peace with Israel in any size or shape. The size of Israel's territory does not relate in any way to the ability to make peace with Israel. Their only goal is the destruction of Israel. So any territorial concessions makes it easier for them to destroy Israel by putting terrorist operatives closer to the heartland of Israel's population along the Mediterranean. From Tel Aviv to Haifa is a strip of land that is home to 80% of Israel's population and industry. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Bernard.
Okay, let's see what it looks like.